Hello, world. This is Rob Cootie. Welcome to our usual Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. broadcast. I'm going to welcome everybody. I hope you all had a great weekend. The wife and I actually rested for a change. We didn't run around with our heads cut off like we normally do. If your all's life is like ours, Monday through Friday, you're so focused on what you're doing that come Saturday and Sunday, you got to get things around the house done and all the other chores you couldn't get done. And the wife always teases. She tells people, we've been retired for, golly, it's coming up on 20 years, I guess. But anyway, the wife will tell people, oh, I bet you're enjoying retirement. She said, honey, the only way I can enjoy retirement is if I go back to work. I don't work too hard. Our days are crazy busy. But so is yours. Mine's no different than yours, or vice versa. Anyway, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. I'm glad you guys are here. Once again, you guys are number one. I keep this around because you guys remind me just how special you are, because you guys make me very happy. Very happy. For all of those that are on the podcast, I have balloons and I'm pulling down a big finger that has the index finger sticking up, and it's got your number one on it. And then I have the traditional legendary yellow Mr. Smiley Face balloon. So that being said, you can tell that I'm very happy with the responses I get. The numbers continue to blow me away. I'm humbled. I know I say that a lot, but I am. And you know what? I'm going to continue to say it because you guys do humble me, and I'm blessed. So that being said, before we get started on a more serious note, as you guys know, this virus has captivated the world in a bad way, not in a good way. And it's really amazing the impact it's had. And no matter where you live in the world, my heart goes out to all of you. We have a close friend who has a, what do they call those students that come from another country? Anyway, it escapes me at the moment. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the point is, she's here with his family, obviously, and she's from Italy, of all places. Well, she got news from her parents that 300 people died over the weekend just in her area from this virus. Just in her area, the area that she's from. That's amazing. 300 people. And they told her to stay here until things calmed down because she was scheduled to go back. And she's obviously upset, as you can imagine. And I don't know what to say. As you can tell, I'm struggling for words here. My heart goes out to her. I know how hard it is to be a student from another country in a strange environment. These people are wonderful people. She's been with them for a number of months. And thank God that she's with them because they are offering her all the support that she could possibly want or need. But that's just one small example of what's taking place across the world. I hope and I pray that none of you are touched by this terrible virus. The wife and I are continuing to be diligent. I was out and about this morning. Our lives have not changed. The wife is out with the grandbabies today. And when I mean out, she's not outside. She's over at her daughter's house. And but I've been out and about like normal, but here's what I do. And maybe this will help you guys. I have hand sanitizer in my car. The moment I come in, like I went to the grocery this morning for the lady across the street who cannot get out. And as soon as I got in the car, I hand sanitized my cell phone, my hands, and my face, and my steering wheel. And so it's a practice I do all the time. And I hope that all of you are taking similar steps to protect yourself and your family. I don't live in fear of things, but at the same time, I'm not going to be stupid about things. And I think this requires a good level-headed approach. And the wife said, well, we're going to stay home a little bit more. We're not going to, quote unquote, quarantine ourselves. Some people have battened down the hatches. I went out this morning and it is dead quiet. It's like a holiday. there's no activity because around here in Louisville, the schools are closed. They've closed the bars and the restaurants. And long story short, a lot of people are working from home. So there's not a lot going on. So before we got the show started, I wanted to at least touch on that because that's what life's about, is all of us bonding together, all of us working together to protect one another, to get information out. I had a good friend from Arizona. He texted me, and I'll tell you this quick story, and then we'll move on to the show. He texted me because he is good friends with one of the top virologists, if I'm saying that correctly. Virologist. Yeah, I believe that's how it's said. And he sent me the text. It was a text from his friend. And he is one of the leading experts in the world on this particular virus. In this text, he said it's been around since the 70s in one form or another, and that he has been working on this in different, how would you say, capacities is probably the best way to put it, because it continues to morph and change and all this and that. But he's been one of the leading experts and is one of the leading scientists in finding cures and controlling this thing since the 70s. I was blown away. And in this text, he gave us a list of things we could do to protect ourselves, and very simple. Like he said, drink warm water, gargle with salt, don't drink cold water. He said the virus only survives in temperatures below 27 degrees Fahrenheit. That was interesting. I did not know that. So he said, don't use ice in your water. He had all kinds of very interesting things that he was talking about that you could do to protect yourself. For instance, on a piece of metal, the virus will last 1 to 2 hours. So in other words, clean your keys, clean anything that you touch with sanitizer or wash it. Any metal surface you touch, because if you don't, that virus will stick around 1 to 2 hours. On your hands, it only lasts 5 to 7 minutes. I did not know that. On your clothes, it will last up to an hour. I did not know that. So those are some interesting insights into this virus. And I found that very helpful, as you can imagine, and also very intriguing at the same time. So I wanted to pass that important information on to you guys. Hopefully, we had a doctor that called yesterday and told us that they're being briefed that the nation may go down, the United States may go down into a lockdown mode, much like Italy did. Now he's saying that they are being pulled together as doctors, and they're all developing a game plan to prepare for this. So I don't know, we'll see. I don't know, he's not the one that makes that decision, but he passed it along because he knows that we have the grandbabies and everything else. He wants to make sure we have all the baby food we need in case that does happen. So we were very grateful for that bit of information, and hopefully it does not come to that. Hopefully you guys are prepared as well, because I do not want anybody here to suffer. I hate to see human beings. I hate to see anything pass away. If I see an animal hit in the road, my heart breaks. If I see someone suffering, my heart breaks. I just don't like seeing people suffer, and I don't like death. So the bottom line is that I don't want to see anybody, whether you watch this show or not, whether you listen to this podcast or not, to suffer in any way or to meet the ultimate fate of such a dreadful disease. And it could easily be me. So the bottom line is that my prayers out to all of you. Please take whatever steps are necessary to protect you and your family. All right, enough of that. Now it's time to get our show going on. We have to stop on moments like this to address the real things in life, right? So since we have this platform and we have this moment, I just wanted to share what I've been exposed to and what I've been told, and to send out my prayers to all of you. Okay. All right, let's get our show going, because today's subject, as you know, if you've seen our notification. Today's podcast is Width is Wealth and Depth is Security. Width is wealth, depth is security. What does that mean exactly? Well, we're going to tell you in this episode because it's part of the business building process. If you do this right, you know what the result's going to be? You're going to make a ton of money, while at the same time, without any extra effort, you're going to build security into your business. What a great way to build a business. With that, let's get our show going. All right. As you know, we have been going over a bunch of basic business building steps that helps you guys do what? To focus on doing the right things. And this is a continuation of that. We're coming close to the end of these basic steps, and then we'll get into some more fun stuff. I know this doesn't seem like fun, does it? And sometimes I wonder if you guys want to continue to hear me talk over and over and over. And you know what? I got to get the information out somehow. And what better way than to put this on video, or for you guys on the podcast with the podcast numbers. I've put my podcast up to a lot of different sites, but the point is that the podcast numbers have been skyrocketing, and I'm very blessed by that. But the thing is, you know what? You got to master the basics, and the basics are boring. I get that. They're boring for me to talk about. I know these things frontwards and backwards. You can imagine how boring it is for me to talk about them. But I've realized that you guys don't know the basics, or most of you anyway. So you know what? I've got to do what? I got to address the basics so you guys will greatly enhance your chances for doing something special with this business model. And I take that very seriously. I want you to succeed. I want to provide you with all the tools. I totally get that this is this can be boring. I hope that my voice doesn't put you to sleep, right? I don't want to do that. I try to talk with pace. I try to talk with power. I try to talk in a way that will captivate you and keep your attention. But I also realize that we're all in today's world constantly being bombarded by all kinds of things, and it's hard to concentrate. So the great thing is you can rewind, watch the video, or listen to the audio, and you can capture all the important information that we share. There's no doubt that people are definitely listening and watching and sharing. And once again, I thank you guys for that, because once again, what are we doing? As fellow human beings, we're sharing information that can improve people's lives. That way it can have a positive impact on people's lives. And anytime you can have a positive impact on this world, that's a great thing. So that leads into, you guys, please continue sharing the videos, continue to share the postings, continue to let other people know. If you don't mind, hit the notification bell on the YouTube channel. You got to hit it twice. I forget what happens when you hit it once. If anybody knows, please tell me. Well, speaking of that, which I'll do here in a moment. Additionally, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please hit the thumbs up on some of our videos. It's the only way, through your comments, through your interaction with us, that we know that we're doing what we need to be doing to help you. And we need feedback. Like anybody, everybody needs to know. If you're at work and you think you're doing a good job, but you're not sure, when your boss, when a coworker comes up and says, hey, you're doing a great job, or your boss, well, you know what? You're ecstatic, because you whole time you thought, hey, I think I'm doing a really good job. But once somebody validates that job that you're doing, you're ecstatic and your confidence goes up. And you say, okay, I'll continue to do the same thing, because it's obvious I'm doing exactly what they need me to do. And they're very appreciative of that. Well, that's no different here. So once again, please, on all of our platforms, our YouTube, our Twitter, our Facebook, our LinkedIn, our Instagram, please look us up. And how do you find us? Well, you guys know it's this right here. See the ticker below? Hashtag TheMLMSolution. Hashtag TheMLMSolution. And of course, I do my part as well. As I said, I uploaded a lot of podcasts on different podcasting sites. I will continue to expand our social media presence. And if you guys will be patient, there will be many different platforms, many different ways to get this information. And that's what I'm trying to achieve. That being said, now that we've gotten all the social media stuff out of the way. How do we start our show? Everybody should know by now. Yes, the all famous gong. All right. Also, as I found out last week, which I thought was cool as crap, you know what? I can post, and if you can post as well, and I'm doing it right now, you can hear me typing. The thing is that I can communicate with you guys, and that's flipping awesome. And I want you to feel like if you have a question, if you have some kind of input, please do so and be positive. I don't mind criticism at all. We all have things that we can do better on. But if you're going to be a little bit critical, please do so in a manner that's well received. I don't mind that you have a difference of opinion or you have some good input on something that I may be talking about or about the show itself. But just remember, let's all be positive and constructive in our criticism. That's the way to do it. All right, with that being said, if you will, as always, during the show, if you guys will give me a thumbs up, let me know during the show that this is resonating with you. That will be awesome. I love getting those. It does do me good to see that people, number one, are listening and watching, and that's awesome. But more importantly to me, when you give me a thumbs up, that tells me that the message is resonating with the guys and that the subject matter is important to you. And that's an instantaneous way for me to know that I'm doing the right thing for you. Because once again, as you can see, outside of my little guys right over there, and for all of you in the podcast, I'm pointing to my dogs. There's a dog bed right behind me. And that's my only audience outside of these balloons that I have. And that's my only audience. So I have no immediate feedback, and it's always appreciative when I get it. All right. With that being said, if you've been looking for us, I have been updating the website. There's the TheMLMSolution.net, TheMLMSolution.net. A lot of good things going on at the blog. In the very near future, you're going to see a lot of great postings about a lot of different things. So I'll be doing those on a regular basis as well. Okay. With that being said, let me say this. We're on the topic, width is wealth, depth security. What does that exactly mean? Okay. Well, look at the ticker there below. Width is wealth is the one we're going to address first. And who doesn't want to make money, right? And the thing is, according to the comp plan, and really no matter what the comp plan may be, you have to realize that you can maximize any comp plan that's out there. First and foremost, you have to understand it. There's a lot of great sites. If you get to a comp plan, if you go to a company that has a comp plan, it's kind of throwing you for a loop. Even if you've been in this industry for a while and you're like, what does this comp plan really mean? There's a lot of great websites that address the comp plans of today. I encourage you to go there, read it after you print out the comp plan. If you still don't understand it, don't shortchange yourself or your people. What do you do? Rob, what do I do if I still don't understand this comp plan? Call the company. I'm telling you, they are more than happy to explain to you how the comp plan works. Why is that important to you? Because look, you're going to be here. I've always told you guys over and over, it takes the same amount of effort, time, commitment, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to build a profitable, growing business in an old company as it does a new one. What is the big difference between the two? In one, the new one, you have the real possibility of creating wealth. In the old one, what do you have? Stability and the ability to develop an income that you know is going to be there month after month after month, and you can get up to maybe 6 figures a year in that, okay? So the point is, you have to decide when you want what you want out of this business, and you run up on the company that you like, and you look at the comp plan, you have to decide, is that comp plan going to reward you? Remember, always remember, it's not always about you. When you're looking at a company, what are you doing? You are the figurehead for what? Your downline, the downline that you're going to build. Always remember that you're working for them. Why do I say that? You got to take your eyes off of you. Yes, you set your individual goals on the 90-day goal list. Yes, you have dreams of a certain lifestyle and a certain income level. I totally get that. Yes, you've got to have those. They give you focus. They give you motivation. They help you stay committed. But here's the thing. What you're doing when you're building your business yourself is you're proving not only to yourself, but your downline to come that this works. Okay, so that when you are going to sponsor other people, not only is your confidence up, your posture's up, but the thing is that you yourself are going to translate your confidence and posture to your high quality prospects that you're using the music to the ears message on, and they're going to come in with confidence that they trust you. They don't know the thing about the business model. They've not made one red cent. They know nothing about the comp plan. They trust you. They're joining because of you, because you're the way you handled yourself, the confidence that you had, the posture that you maintained, help give them the confidence, even though they're a little bit suspect of what's going on, that they trust you and that you know what you're doing. Well, you better know what you're doing. And part of knowing what you're doing is you did your homework on the comp plan, which means, as I've told you guys over and over, if your downline's not making money, especially the high quality ones that are used to having success sooner rather than later, and they are used to setting their goals and achieving those goals, if they're not making money, they're not sticking around. They are not going to put their reputation on the line. They're not going to put their job in jeopardy because of the time commitment of this business and the possibility of word getting out to their boss that they're participating in any kind of business on the side. Doesn't matter whether it's network marketing or a home-based business out of their garage. A lot of big-time companies frown on their employees having a dual mentality. They want total mentality towards their company. So the bottom line is that you have to understand that when you start building your business, you have now become not only the leader of the pack, but you have now become the person that they're going to lean on in regards to making decisions. And you had better made the right decision from day one when you evaluated the comp plan to make sure it was going to do what? It was going to pay everybody fair and in an equitable way that we've been talking about, right? So the bottom line is that you have to make sure, before you'd ever dream about building the width to create the wealth, you have to make sure that comp plan is going to work from what? Day one. You have to look at what? The basics of the comp plan. You better understand those basics, and you better be able to look them in the eye and say, if you create 10,000 group volume in your first 90 days by having 100 people do 100 PV each, that equals 10,000 group volume. This is what you're going to get paid. You better be spot on, okay? And you better understand that if they're going to make that kind of money, that it's straight money going in their bank account, that there's no additional steps they have to take or any additional qualifications that must be met, that when you tell them that's what they're going to make, it better be correct. Because if they work their tail end off and get to that point and they're not making that money and you tell them, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, you've lost them. Because then they'll walk away saying, well, what else didn't they tell me? You know what? I worked my tail end off. They told me I was going to make this money and I didn't make this money. Matter of fact, I'm well short of that. And now they're telling me that I've got to do this and this and this. I got to jump through more hoops to achieve the income they told me from day one that I could have if I did 10,000 group volume. Now, this is ridiculous. If they lied to me about this, then guess what? This comp plan or this payout is pennies on the dollar compared to what I'm expected or what I did expect. You see where I'm coming from? So yes, we're talking about width is wealth, and I'm going to touch on that in a moment. But what I just shared with you is a golden nugget. I always throw those things in for you guys because it applies to this particular tactic. I just had to make sure that you understand that when you are going out there building your business and you're telling your downline, this is how you do it, and this is what's going to happen when you do, you better be telling the truth, and that truth better be readily apparent, I guess the best way to put it, to them. In other words, they can look at it for themselves and say, yeah, I see where I'm making progress towards this. I don't need Rob to endorse this. This is spot on. This is happening just like he said it would. And they will see that because as they grow in this business, they're going to understand the comp plan more and more themselves. And when they do understand the comp plan more and more, they're going to say, yes, I see what he's talking about. I understand this width is wealth thing. And yes, I can see if I create 10,000 group volume, I in fact will get paid that, not including bonuses or trips. And that is spot on. So now that we have that out of the way, let's finish off talking about what width is wealth is. And what that means is that when you look at the comp plan, as I told you about a moment ago, and if you don't know, go to the website or call the company. Go to those websites and read about them, or go to the company and ask them, and they'll tell you in great detail. and they usually have a printout, so you will get to the point where you understand. So the thing is that once you understand that, you sit down and you're putting out your 90-day goals. It's going to become very, very clear to you once you understand the comp plan, exactly what's achievable in those 90 days and what exactly could happen if you sponsor X amount of people in those 90 days, especially if the majority of your people are high quality people that are what? Used to setting and achieving goals. That's what we mean by high quality. We're not saying one person's better than another. We're saying that people that are used to setting goals and achieving those goals in their life are the type of people that you want to attract, because you want people that will be self-committed, self-focused. What they need is direction and support. So that being said, with this wealth means that you're going to maximize a comp plan. For instance, if you're talking to the company and you say, hey, look, I want to maximize this thing. I want to go to the top of the pay plan. Okay, how many people do I need to sponsor in order to maximize this comp plan? Okay, now some people say, well, you're going to sponsor an unlimited amount of people. And that is true in certain companies. There are other companies that put limits on the number of people that you can sponsor. So, and unfortunately, sometimes that entices people to do unscrupulous things, because if the company says you can only sponsor 5 people, well, you put a ceiling on your income. So what they do is they create a fictitious company and / so-and-so LLC, and then they attach that LLC to their social security number, and then they'll sponsor 5 more people. Okay, now that to me is borderline unethical, as you can imagine. I understand the ingenuity of doing that, and that's pretty smart. But the bottom line is that's not really a fair and honest way to do the business or to work that particular comp plan. Well, here's the thing as well. They shouldn't have joined that company if they knew those limitations from the get-go, right? Who would join a company that has a income and distributor limit on them? That's ridiculous. You can't make enough money, and it's not worth your time and effort. But anyway, the thing is that you're going to say to the company, how many people do I have to sponsor in order to maximize this comp plan? And when we say with, I mean people you personally sponsor, not the leaders that come from depth. I'm talking about people that you will personally sponsor. If the company says, Rob, if you sponsor 150 people, you've maximized our comp plan. You'll qualify for everything that we have in there, from the top all the way down. You will qualify for everything. Okay. Now, my goal is not to qualify for everything. My goal is what? To make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible. Okay. And if I max out the comp plan in the meantime, that's awesome. But I'm not going to put that extra pressure on myself to maximize that comp plan. Do I have, once I get to the top 5 in the company in earnings, then I'll look at quote unquote maximizing the financial part of that comp plan. Why do I say that? Because as you go along and you build this business, it's going to become more clear to you as you get closer to the top just how many people you do need to sponsor. Okay, now so if Rob says I'm going to sponsor 150 people over the next year, okay, and I'm going to do 2 mini blasts in that calendar year. If I'm going to do that 150 people, as I go along, it may become clear to me that I only have to sponsor 89 people, not 150. So even though my original goal was off, my original goal was admirable, was correct, and it was going to put me in a position where I was going to make a ton of money and maximize that opportunity anyway. But it just so happens that the numbers worked in my favor, that I only had to do 89 instead of 150. And that's what I'm saying, is that as you get closer to the top, you are in fact going to find out, it's going to become very clear just how many people you're going to have to sponsor. So that is very important. I mean, here's what I'm saying. When you create width, it automatically creates wealth. Why? Because you increase the possibility of you having a ton of leaders. In other words, you're taking responsibility for your business. You're saying, I don't give a crap how many leaders I get out of depth. I got to take full responsibility for my business. I'm going to do so by maximizing this comp plan. And in order for me to maximize that comp plan, in order for me to even have a chance to maximize that comp plan, I got to take personal responsibility, and I got to sponsor X amount of people over a certain amount of time. Because in every company, every company, keep that in mind, keep it in mind, please write it down, etch it in your mind, whatever the case may be, put it on your wall, spray paint it on your door, whatever you have to do. Always remember that in order to maximize any comp plan, width is going to equal wealth. And what does that mean? Does that guarantee wealth? No. What it means is if you go wide and you're sponsoring high quality people, and when the one third works its magic, you're going to be really close to maximizing that comp plan because, and when you do, when you sponsor 89 people, like Rob goes in and sponsors 89 people over a course of, say, 6 months, okay, here's what happens. Rob put himself in a position to create wealth. Remember, I always told you that you're laying the foundation in your first 90 days to 180 days. And when I say 180 days, I mean 180 days straight across. You're sponsoring people in your first 90-day mini blast. In your second 90 days, you're working with the leaders that come to the top. Remember, we always talk about that. You're laying what? The foundation, okay? And that foundation is going to catapult you over the what? The next year or two. I always talk about that. Don't forget that. You're laying the foundation. So if Rob sits down, puts down his 90-day goals, and I say, okay, I'm going to sponsor 89 people in the next 90 days. And you say, oh my gosh, that's one person a day. Well, that is achievable, believe it or not. Once you get on a roll, it is definitely achievable. But here's the thing. You're going to go out and you're going to give it all you have. And as we talk about, you're either going to hit it or you're going to fall short of it or you're going to exceed it. It's going to be one of those three. And then you make that determination at the 90-day mark. I always tell you guys to stick your head up and look around to see where you are on the 90th day. But here's the thing. During those 90 days, I know that if I sponsor, because I looked at the comp plan, understand the comp plan, I called the company, I got clarification, and I sat down, I said, okay, over the next 90 days, I'm going to sponsor 89 people because I want to get this done and over with. I do not want to do a second 90-day mini blast. If I do this right this time, I'm going to put myself in a position to maximize this plan. I'm going to have myself in a position where I can do what? Create wealth over the what? The next year or two. And a lot of people say, oh man, I don't want to wait a year or two to make my money. No, that's not what I'm saying. You're going to make money the whole time. But here's the thing. Once you get that ball rolling, after that first mini blast, and after that first 180 days, you're going to determine whether you are in fact maximizing that and if you're on your way to creating wealth. Look, and you're at the end of your first year, at the end of your second year, especially with a new company, guys, I'm telling you, you could put yourself in position to make 300,000, $500,000 in your first year. In the second year, you could go over the $1 million mark. I'm telling you that if you set this up right, like we're talking about, and you're with the right company and it's going through exponential growth, and almost every new company that's got any products worth a hoot, all of these go through that. Even if they cap out in year 3, 4, or 5 at a $50 million a year mark or $100 million a year mark. Look, companies like that create positions of wealth for a few people. So what you do is you come into this new company with the mindset, I'm just going to do what I know I'm supposed to do, which is that 5 simple steps, CCBBA. What does that mean? Consistent, correct business building activity. If you do those things, you have your goals in front of you, you go after those goals and do your 90-day mini blast, you're setting a foundation and putting yourself in a position to be one of those few people that can create wealth with just about any new company. Okay? I don't care if they're selling tiddlywinks. If they're going to be around for 1 to 3 years, there are wealth positions in that company. And it's going to be somebody. It's just like the lottery. You got to win. You got to play to win. There's no doubt that people win the lottery. You can argue that all day long. But here's the thing. People win, okay, all the time, okay? The bottom line is that you can't even win if you don't have a ticket, right? Well, if you don't get out there and do what you're supposed to do, the 5 simple steps, CCBBA, you're not even putting yourself in a position to do anything, okay? You're not going to be able to create much of anything. But if you do those things and you set this up properly, you're putting yourself in a position where you could be one of those people that can have wealth creation in that new company. Okay. And it's going to happen to somebody. It could be you. I could tell you many, many leaders who went into a company and ended up being a black diamond, a blue diamond, whatever, a presidential. They had no idea when they went into a company, a lot of them, not all of them, but the professional business builders know when they go into a new company, they expect that success out of themselves. But here's the thing. There's a lot of people that are living incredible lifestyles that when they went into network marketing, they really didn't know. They just did what they were supposed to do. They really, sure, they might have dreamt at night that they were going to achieve this amazing level, but they really in their heart didn't know if that was possible, especially for them. I'd never achieved anything like that before. I've never made that kind of money before. That's incredible. I don't know if I could do that. But they get out there and they're doing the right things. They're doing them consistently. And the next thing you know, they found themselves in a position where they're going to be able to live a lifestyle they could never dream of because they did what? They created wealth through that company. Guys, you can do the same thing. Look, every position is open. Every position is open. There's none of them locked in. Okay? Even the ones that the new companies hire, the professional business builders, the hired guns, if you will, even if they pay those guys $1 million, or gals too, and I keep forgetting to do that, but the thing is that whoever it may be, when they hire them and pay them $1 million to come to their company to help get it off the ground, they still got to build a business, okay? And when they earn one of the top slots, folks, I promise you, they earned it. I have personally been with, I have personally worked with, I have personally witnessed these guys in action. When I first got around these quote unquote professional business builders, guys, it is amazing to see. You know what the difference is between them and everybody else? They work their asses off. They're out there, bam, 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 and they're emotionless. They don't get caught up in the answers. They don't get caught up. You know what they are? They're machines. They just get up the next day and same thing, bam, 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 over and over and over. They don't stop for nothing. Excuse me. And the bottom line is that they have that mentality. But you know why they have that mentality? Because they understand the numbers. They understand what they have to do. They understand the time frame. They understand the urgency of the situation. They understand that if they don't get their butts in gear, that the time that passes is never going to be recaptured. There's going to be a lot of money left on the table. And they also realize that there's going to be fewer and fewer, quote unquote, wealth spots available. Why? Because other people are passing them up. Other people are working harder than them. Other people are maximizing the opportunity more efficiently than they are. And so there's going to be somebody else is going to step up. What if with a new company, there's only 15 wealth positions available? I mean, nobody knows for sure. I'm just throwing a number out there. But if you knew that, if the company told you, well, there's only 15 wealth spots available, and wealth being like $1 million or more, okay? And I guess you can consider that wealth. But the point is that you have a situation where you're going to walk away and say, well, it's not worth it. I wanted a wealth position and there's only 15. I'm never going to be able to achieve that. So I'm not going to waste my time. Or you can be one of those ones that goes, gosh, I got to get my butt in gear. If there's only 15 available, I definitely want to be one of those 15. This is a great company. It's got a great product. It's got a great comp plan. I'm not going to run into this opportunity very often. And folks, you don't. Do you realize how many network marketing companies open their doors each and every year only to go out of business within 6 months, a year, or up to 5 years, okay? The bottom line is that these types of opportunities don't come along very often. That's the reason why I'm so passionate about teaching you guys the right steps you need to take so you can take advantage of one of these when they pop up, okay? And the thing is that you got to be able to identify what you need to do and identify the right company, and you got to be able to jump on that company, and you got to know, because Rob has told you what, over and over and over, that urgency and speed is absolutely critical to your success, because you're trying to push that money ball that's small in the beginning up a vertical hill, and you have no idea, because you can't see around the money ball, where the apex or the peak is. You've just got to have blind faith and keep working. And then as you build more and more leaders, what happens? Those leaders are joining you and pushing that money ball as it gets bigger and larger and heavier up that ever increasing mountain that you're trying to get to the top of. You just don't know where the peak is. If they're going to help you get it there. And what are their people doing? Their downlines doing the same thing. They're the head of their organization. They're duplicating what you're doing. So they are developing leaders under them who are helping them push their money ball up that same mountain. Okay? So with this wealth means get your butt in gear, use the speed and urgency, the 5 simple steps, CCBBA, and get your butt in gear, sponsoring as many people as quickly as you can. I tell you that all the time. What do I say? Go through prospects as fast as you can, doing what? Looking for leaders. What is this business about? The very essence of this business is leaders. You got to have a bunch of leaders in your business. The more you have, the more explosive it's going to be, the more stable it's going to be, the more growth it's going to experience, and the more profitable it's going to be. And the more efficient your growth is going to be. There's so many positives in developing leaders, and you just can't get around it. I mean, that's what this business is about. So with this wealth means the bottom line is this: sponsor as many people as quickly as you can. And that doesn't mean, I'm going to tell you something, if you sponsor, let's say I sponsor 10 people, you sponsor 10 people out of the gate. Okay, first 2 weeks we're in. You sponsor 10, I sponsor 10. You don't use the music to the ears message, your message doesn't contain the keywords to attract high quality prospects. I'm using the music to the ears. I've got high quality people sit on the edge of the seat, wanting more, listen to every word I speak. I get 10 of those people to join up. You get 10 people to join up. 2 more weeks down the road, 3 more weeks down the road, you're saying, man, we sponsor the same amount of people, but Rob's volume is miles ahead of mine. Rob's already got 2 new pins in his business. I can't hardly get anybody to do anything. I've got a few people buying this and that, and I got some people doing a little bit here and there. You know why? Because of the type of people I attracted to me, because of my confidence, because of my posture, and because mostly of the music to the ears. And what am I doing? I'm attracting those high quality leads, which turn into leaders. And leaders are used to doing what? Setting goals and achieving those goals. And I've showed them how to do that. I got them off on the right step within 24 hours. They're using a simple, easy, duplicatable system, and they're on their way. Okay. Guess what? When I do 89 of those, what do you think is going to happen? If I get out there with speed and urgency and sponsor 89 people as quick as I freaking can, and I'm using arbitrary numbers, you can pick whatever numbers you want, but I'm using numbers to show you in this example how width can equal wealth. Okay. And so I sponsor 89 people because I talked to the company who told me that if I did the X amount, that I would, in fact, max out the comp plan, because a third. And so when the company says, Rob, if you sponsor 89 people, that should put you in a position, because if you have X amount of leaders, blah, 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 and I can walk away. What do? We've talked about it many times. I automatically have already got the numbers spinning in my head, because I know. And when I talk to them and they say, yeah, if you sponsor 89 people, you're going to maximize this thing out. I'm going to walk away saying, you know what, 89 is not enough. I'm going to have to sponsor 100, because I know what, one third is going to do its magic. And so I've got to make sure that I get past that 89, because I want to maximize this. I want to take full advantage of it. I want to do it one time, get it over with, and live the rest of my life on the beach. Okay. Width equals wealth. That's all you got to remember. Don't make it more complicated than that. Just find out from the company or from the website what you got to do to maximize that particular comp plan. It should say something in the nature of, if you're going to maximize this comp plan, and it won't use those words, it'll say something like this: 100,000 group volume and 22 presidential leaders. Okay. And that might seem like a lot. Be like, oh my gosh, that's overwhelming numbers. Folks, if you do the duplication, you sponsor the right type of people, you support them, you help them, you guide them. I'm telling you, that's a real possibility. Look, you got to keep this thing in small bites. You got to keep your confidence up. You got to let the numbers work for you. You got to let the business model work for you. How do you do that? by knowing the numbers and working the numbers. It's the reason why I said a moment ago, if the company tells me, Rob, 89 people, I'm going to do what? I'm going to sponsor 100 at least. Why? Because I'm going to go above and beyond. Why? Because of the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So I've already set up. I already know the numbers. 89. I know that if I get that width, then I put myself in a position to what? Get the wealth. Get the wealth. Okay. You see how this is? The other day, last Friday, we talked about 20 people, how 20 people could change your life. This is part of that process. I just wanted to cap that point off. This is too much to go into in one episode. I wanted to cap that point off last Friday about the 20 people with this. So you understood, because I'm always telling you guys, I always talk about wealth. Put yourself in a position to create wealth. And people are like, oh, how do you do that? Guess what? We're talking about it right now. Okay. Those 20 people are key, but you got to work the numbers. And one of the ways you work the numbers, and with is wealth, you got to keep that in mind. That's the very basic. And when you know that, and when you learn about a comp plan, you're going to walk away with what, guys? Because you've been listening to me and you've been listening to the podcast and watching the videos, you say, Rob taught us how with is wealth. He also taught us how 20 people, he always told us, work the numbers. That's the most important thing Rob always talked about. Work the numbers. Know the numbers. Make the numbers work for you. If this is ringing with you guys, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm hitting the nail on the head. Hopefully this is not too complicated. It's not too over your head. It really is a simple concept. But as you can tell, I'm telling you guys this with passion. I want to make sure I get it clear. I want to make sure you understand it, because this really kind of caps off what we talked about last Friday on the 20 people. Okay. And we're working the numbers. So if this makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please give us some comments as well. And so now we're going to talk about the depth aspect of it. Okay. You say, okay, we talked about the width, Rob, I get it. Okay. So what does the depth mean? This is really important. And what you're doing when you're building your business, when you do it right and you do it the way we teach you, you're going to be building security. How great is that? You're going to know in your heart that, man, not only am I building an awesome business that's going to give me income month after month after month, which is everybody's dream. Everybody wants that residual income. Okay, you do the work once and you can live for the rest of your life. Now, whether that turns out to be the case or not, only you can determine that by doing your part. Life is not full of guarantees, but guess what? If you do your part and you let the system and you let the business model do its part, chances are great that you're going to develop. I can tell you there's black diamonds, there's diamonds, executive diamonds, crown diamonds, all these guys. A lot of them are still making really good money on a monthly basis off of what they did years ago. Okay. So the thing is that depth and security, what does that mean? And it's got to work hand in hand with the width. But the thing is, the beauty of this, what we teach you guys, is that as you're building your business, you're also going to build your depth. And you say, well, how do you do that? Well, it's because you're going to be working with leaders in depth. And what does that mean? That means that you're going to be there. You're going to be, when you realize you have your whole business, right? You have this large organization, and you're going to have a leaders only meeting, which would include all your leaders at all different levels. And if the company pays you down to 10 levels, okay, and we haven't gotten into, remember I told you, there's no such thing as infinity, okay, either a width or a depth. A company cannot pay out until infinity. So let's get that clear, get that out of your head. If you ever run into that, run in the opposite direction. No company can afford to do that. So if the company's paying you down to 6, 8, 10 levels, you say, well, that's not really a lot. Folks, I'm going to tell you something that's huge. That's absolutely huge. Think about it. If you're sponsoring 89 people and 1/3, let's do 90 to make it easy. And then 1/3 takes into place. What's 1/3 of 90? It's 27. 27 people. Okay. And then the 1/3 works again. So out of the 27, 1/3 of 27 is basically going to be 8 or 9 people. Is that more than the 5 or 6 we talked about in last week's episode that make up 95% of your income? Yeah. Did I teach you guys not to build in a buffer? Yeah. You see how I already know the numbers off the top of my head? When I go into the business building mode, I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly how many people I need to sponsor. I know exactly how many leaders I need. It's all because of the fact that I've done this before, as you can tell. And the thing is that I know basically how the business is going to work for the most part. And there's a few surprises. That's just the way life is. But the thing is that I know that I've got to work with my people, not only frontline leaders, but in depth as well. Because when I do, guess what? For instance, let's say I sponsor Sally. I'm in Kentucky. Let's say she's in Indiana, up in Indianapolis. Okay, that's close enough for me to drive to. I work hand in hand with Sally. She has group meetings. Her business is growing. Rob, will you come up and do a presentation? Will you come up and, have a Q&A? Will you come up? And you know what? Yes, Sally, I'm there. I'm helping you. What am I doing? I'm working in depth. I'm working in depth. Even if I sponsor Sally frontline, what is happening? I'm working through her, addressing other leaders. Now, I'm not using her as a crutch. I'm not taking advantage of her. What am I doing? I'm supporting Sally. But at the same time, I'm speaking the language that resonates with what? Other leaders who want what I have and what Sally has. Okay? Either the lifestyle, the money, whatever the case may be. And they're saying, I want what you guys are getting. And they're going to be in that audience. And they're going to resonate. The message is going to resonate with them. And after the meeting, they can do a Q&A with Rob or Sally or both of us. So what am I doing? I'm working in depth, and I'm identifying more leaders through that. And they know that they have access. They have to go through Sally first. You never allow a leader in depth to go around their leader. If Sally's doing the right things and Sally is really growing and she's a team player, and somebody in Sally's group, a leader, contacts me and says, Rob, I want to work directly with you. I say, no, that's not how this works. I'm flattered. I'm honored. But Sally's doing exactly everything that's supposed to be done. She is a top-notch leader. I'm telling you, you don't want to do this. I won't do this. This is wrong. And I politely turn them down, and I tell them, this will destroy a business. You can't do this. I don't just tell them no. I tell them why. I communicate to them, like I always tell you guys, hey, no, we can't do that. And here's why we can't do that. And I explain to them, not only how's it going to have an effect on Sally's business, but it'll have an effect on their business and ultimately mine. It will hurt everybody upline. You don't want to do that. But what I am doing, I'm through legitimate means, through honest support, I'm helping Sally grow her business. I'm offering answers to questions that Sally may not be able to answer. I'm sitting down with Sally after the meeting, and we're talking, and she's telling me, well, Rob, I got some challenges here, or Rob, can you help me here, or what do I do here? And so after the meeting, one-on-one, her and I, and we're sitting down and we're being human. We're talking about other things too, family, whatever. But we're also, I'm answering Sally's questions. And I helped Sally with her group as well while we have, after the presentation, and doing a Q&A. And so what am I doing? I'm supporting Sally, but at the same time, I'm working leaders in depth, okay? And the leaders in depth say, hey, this guy is serious. He's here to support Sally, our leader. He's endorsing her. He's, what do you call it? Edifying her. That's what I meant. He's edifying her. So you know what? Obviously, Sally knows what she's doing. Rob came here to support her. That's an endorsement. I totally feel confident and comfortable with Sally now. I get that she's doing the exact same thing Rob's doing, and Rob's willing to come up here to Indianapolis and work with us and to help us get through the challenges we may face and to support our growth. That leader may now just take off and explode in Sally's business. What does that do for Rob's business? I have Sally as a leader, and now I have Tommy as a leader, and maybe I have Linda. So I have Sally, Tommy, and Linda in that leg. And when you're talking about security in a leg, folks, and that's the reason why I use this example, 3 people, 3 leaders, not people, 3 leaders, solid leaders, proven leaders, people that are growing, people that are doing something. They're doing CCBBA. Consistent, correct business building activity. In other words, these people are all doing the right thing. They're doing it consistently. You now have 3 leaders in a leg, and you've got to have at least 3 leaders in a leg in order for it to be stable. And you say, well, why is that important? Well, I talked to you about last Friday's episode. If you don't know what it is or haven't heard it, please go. I'm talking about the 20 leaders or how 20 people can change your life. here's the thing. In order for your business, because we talked about in that episode, how your 95% of your income is going to come from 5 to 6 legs, maybe 3 to 5. And you never want your numbers to get so low that you're depending on 3 to 5 legs for your vast majority of your income. Okay, you want to go above that, 5 to 6. Okay, and if you're lucky, 7 or 8. But you got to work the numbers, and the numbers are limited by what? The comp plan. Because remember, I told you there's a point where you just can't sponsor any more people, because if you do, you're wasting your time. Okay, because you're not going to make any more money. So it's needless and senseless to keep sponsoring someone after you've already maximized the comp plan. So the point is this, that you want to make sure that when you work in depth, that you're getting down deep in there. And you do that by supporting your leaders, whether that was somebody you sponsored or not. Let's say Sally quits the business and she goes to Europe for some reason. She gets married, whatever, gets transferred in her job, whatever. And she said, hey, I've had a nice time, made a lot of money, but I've decided to stay in the corporate world. I'm going to go to Europe. And she gives up her business. Well, guess what? The leaders, Tommy and Linda, that are in Sally's business would roll up to me. They would be moved up in most comp plans. And you have to check the comp plans. That's an important piece of it. And once again, we'll talk about that down the road. But the thing is, in most legitimate comp plans, if a leader goes away for some reason, those other leaders roll up to you, okay, as if you personally sponsored them, or they roll up another level. You have to look at the comp plans. I can't say here 100% confident that that's the case. Is this making sense? If it is, give us a thumbs up, guys. Make some comments. We love to hear. Matter of fact, I'll put in here, does this make sense? Hopefully I spelled that right. Let's see. Yeah, I did. I did it right. And I did that on the fly, and I did it right. Okay, so the thing is that you want to be able to get at least 3 leaders in there. But here's what will happen. Leaders beget what? More leaders. So the thing is, what do leaders do? They attract other leaders, okay? Especially if we're using the music to the ears message. And if everybody's doing the same thing, CC, BBA, and duplications taking place, then guess what? It's almost natural that other high quality prospects who are leaders they're in a rough form, guess what? Get attracted to what? Other leaders. If I go to a meeting and I see Sally up there, and I'm used to achieving success in whatever in life, and I see Sally up there, I'm going to immediately be enthralled by Sally, by her posture, her words, the way she speaks, the way she handles herself. I can tell that she's a successful person. I can see that she knows what she's doing. And so I'm sitting back here as a leader going, hey, this person's just like me. You know what? If I'm going to do this business, I need to talk to that woman. I can get my answers. Number 1. Number 2, I'm going to be able to fill out to see if my gut instinct is right, that she is a leader, that she is building this business, and that she knows what she's doing. So you know what? I'm going to meet her after the meeting. I'm going to ask her some questions. You see what I'm doing? Sally attracted me to her because of her words, because of her posture. She didn't even have to say that she was successful. A lot of leaders carry themselves in a certain way that I can relate to. They use certain words that I can relate to. And I can say, okay, there's potential here. I don't just fall head over heels over Sally because that she's dressed nice and handles herself nicely. You know what? He tells me, hey, I got to do some more investigative work. And I've got some pointed questions I need to ask Sally, but I'll do that in private after the meeting. You see what I'm saying? So what is that? What's happening here? Sally is attracting what? Other high quality people. And once again, high quality people being what? People that are used to setting goals and achieving those goals. So the thing is, Sally's attracting Rob to her as she's doing her presentation, and Rob's looking for something. And Rob says, this may be what I'm looking for. I'm going to go talk to Sally after the meeting. So Sally's doing all the right things. She's doing them on a consistent basis. She's attracting high quality people through her meetings. And then Rob's coming in from Louisville, Kentucky to Indianapolis, and Rob's throwing the gas on the fire in support of Sally. And so now there's even more people being attracted to Sally. And because Rob's endorsing her and edifying her. And so the process begins. The process of what? Developing more leaders. And eventually you're going to have more leaders in your downline in that leg. Not only are you going to have Tommy and Linda, but you're going to have Cindy and Mary Lou. Okay, so now you have 5 leaders total in that leg. All right, Tommy, Linda, Cindy, Mary Lou, and Sally. Okay, and so now you've really got that stabilized leg. And why do you want 3? You got to have at least, not 3 and then stop. You got to have at least 3 leaders in each leg. Why? Once again, as I told you guys before, and you've seen in the previous examples, if something happens, like Sally decides to go to Europe, guess what? I still have Tommy and Linda, Mary Lou and Cindy that I can work with, and they're going to roll up to me. So did I lose some volume? Absolutely. Did I lose a valuable team member? Absolutely. Sally was a valuable team member. We developed a wonderful relationship. And you know what? The thing is, I hate to see Sally go, but I totally get it. It's the way life works. And I'm going to continue to support Sally. And I'm always going to edify her, whether she's in the business or not, because she's a top-notch person. And my life's better because I knew Sally and worked with Sally. That's what I do. That's how I handle that whole situation. But here's the thing. I still have what? Tommy, Linda, Mary Lou, and Cindy. And what have they done? They've stepped in and continued to build their own businesses, which replaced the income. Not the income, the volume that left when Sally left. And it helped stabilize a temporarily unstable situation. So the bottom line is, guys, because of the fact that I worked the numbers and I knew the business model and I knew how the business model worked, as I'm building my own business and I'm supporting my leaders by doing what? By being there for them, by helping them, I'm developing what? I'm developing depth. Okay? I'm driving that leg deep. Sally's a willing participant. I tell Sally, because she's one of the leaders I identify when I logged into my back office, I see Sally as a budding leader as she continues to grow over the months. She asks for help. I help her. We develop a professional relationship. She gets bigger and stronger. And I'm there helping her every step of the way. I'm working that leg. Why am I working that leg? Because remember, I told you in this business, it's a chess game. And what does that mean? They move first, then you move. You don't call somebody and horsewhip them. You don't call somebody and make them feel guilty for not working. You don't call somebody trying to use these false motivational tactics that's going to push them away and they'll never build a business. What do? You move on to somebody else that's what? Ready. And they're ready when they contact you. And what does that mean? That means that they made the first move. Remember, they move, you move, just like a chess game. All right. Now, when I sign Sally up, I tell her right off the bat, remember, guys, when I sign her up within the first 24 hours, I'm here for you. What do you need me to do? Okay. Some of your leaders going to say, Rob, I got it. I'm totally comfortable talking to people. You've trained me well. I've got the music to the ears message right here written down. I got it from you. I haven't changed one word in it. I get it. I'll use this. I got to be consistent in using correct business building activity. I get that. You made it perfectly clear. This is a simple, easy thing for me to do. I don't need any help. If you don't mind, contact me every Friday to see if I'm okay. And then you're going to have some people and say, well, I'm a little nervous. Even though I'm a leader, I'm not really used to talking to a lot of people, but I'll get over that. Excuse me. And if you'll be there for me and help me get through that, then I'll do it. Okay. And those are the people that you work with until they get what? Used and comfortable to talking to other people and delivering that message correctly. You see, and that's an example of me working with different leaders at their level. We talked about that last week, and you want to listen to that episode because this all ties together. And so what am I doing here? I'm developing depth by working with the leaders that are ready, that move first, where Sally said, Rob, remember, will you come to Indianapolis and do a presentation? Will you come to Indianapolis and talk to me after the presentation? I've got some questions. I need some answers. And so what am I doing? I'm working depth by working with Sally, and working with Sally allows me to do a presentation with her group, which allows me to help her identify more leaders that will come up in her business. And that way I'm developing more depth in my business. And at the same time, I'm teaching Sally how this developing depth goes. So I'm teaching Sally the same thing, which is what? Sally, you want to do this and you want to support Linda and Tommy and Mary Lou and Cindy by doing what? By doing presentations just like I'm doing for you, right? So that you see how it's going. So what am I doing? Duplication's taking place, and I'm teaching Sally to do the same thing I'm doing. And if Sally's going to stick around and not go to Europe, then she knows exactly how to work with Tommy and Linda, Cindy, and Mary Lou to do what? Support them in their growth and help them expand their business and help them overcome their challenges. And because Sally's willing to do that, guess what? Sally's going to get 3 or 4 more or 5 more or 6 more leaders in depth, which makes Rob's what? That means now that Rob's leg, Sally's leg, not only has 3, Tommy, Mary Lou, and Cindy, the bottom line is now I have 6, 8, or 10 leaders in that leg because Sally's driving that leg deep too. And remember, the company's only going to pay me 10 levels deep. Well, that's fine. If I have 10 leaders in that leg, then that leg is solid as a rock, for the foreseeable future. Is there a possibility all 10 could go away? Yeah, there's always that possibility. But it's the chances that happening is very slim indeed. Okay. And even if 3 of them left, you have 8 or 9 or 10 in there, you still have 7 or 6 in that leg, and those people are going to roll up, and then they'll continue to develop even more depth. And the point is, you want, even if you don't get paid, if they develop 20 leaders in that leg deep, okay, you want that because that will stabilize that leg for years. And the thing is, even though you don't get paid on anything past 10 levels, that's okay with you because that means that that leg is rock solid and you don't have to worry about it for a while. Okay. And so you just duplicate that with other legs. And that's how you get your 3 to 5 to 6, 7 legs that 95% of your income is going to come from. And that's how you get the security because you drove those legs deep and you develop leaders in those legs. And you got to have at least 3 in each one of those legs to have security in case one of them leaves or 2 of them leave. But at least you have one more leader in that leg that will continue to do what? CCBBA, and will drive that leg deep again. Okay, do you see how that's working? That's the reason why when we say with this wealth, we talked about sponsoring 89 people wide so you can maximize the comp plan and depth of security, meaning that you work the depth through the leaders that are willing to work with you, and you're going to develop at least 3 leaders in that leg. You want more. I always teach you guys to do more, and for good reason. Real life happens, but 3 at least, because history has proven that 3 is the magical number. It's not the number that I arbitrarily picked myself. It's a number that's proven to be absolutely accurate and one that you want to pay attention to. But I always encourage you guys to develop more. Now, you don't horsewhip Sally to develop those legs. If she's not willing to do anything with you, she's not willing to allow you to do a meeting, if she's not willing to allow you to help her out, what do? You go over and you work with Alan over here. In another part of your business. And Alan's saying, yeah, because it doesn't matter whether it's Sally's your first person you ever sponsored or if Alan's your 78th person. It doesn't matter. What matters is who raises their hand and say, Rob, I need help, or I want help. Please help me. Okay. They move, you move. They move, you move. But you always tell them from day one, I'm here for you. I'm willing to work with you. I'll check in with you every once in a while. That's day one when you sponsor them. I'm here for you. I'll work with you. I don't want you to feel alone. But at the same time, I'm not going to harass you. I'm just going to check in every once in a while to make sure, how would you like for me to do that? How many times a week would you like for me to do that? You see, and we talked about that in the last week's episode, but I'm bringing that up just to refresh your mind because it's part of what we're talking about here. So if Sally's not willing to work with me, then Alan is, and he's got his hand raised up. What am I going to do? I'm going to go from Sally over to Alan. Why? Because my job is to do what? You're going to develop leaders. What is this business about? The essence of the business is developing leaders, finding and working with leaders. I tell you guys that all the time. So how do you already found them because you did that through the prospecting process, but how do you know who to work with? Because they're raising their hand, and you say, well, how do they raise their hand? Well, maybe one week when you send out an email to them or a text message, they said, hey, can you call me? Or, hey, here's a question I have. Can you email me a question back or text me? That is somebody raising their hand. Okay. So as we talked about many times, leaders is what it's all about. But when you're working with leaders, this is the whole thing you're shooting for, because this is going to give you the lifestyle, folks. This is going to give you the residual income. This is going to allow you to build this one time and then be able to walk away. Okay. And doing this helps that money ball get over the peak. Okay. Because when you develop with, it's just a matter of time, because you're developing so many people. Remember, 90 people. Think about it. As we close this, think about this over the next 24 hours. If you make a commitment to sponsor 90 people, and you know that the third is a very fabric of this business, it happens whether you like it or not. It's going to do its work whether you like it or not. If you have a third, and you sponsor 90 people, you make a commitment to do that. As I told you, a third of 90 is 27. Do you realize what 27 people, those are people that are leaders, okay, that high quality people. They're all going to do at different levels, okay? Not everybody's going to be a superstar and right out of the gate, you're going to have 27 superstars. I've only seen that happen one time in the Amway business. I'm sure it's happened other places, but that's rare. Of the 27 people, what's going to happen again? The third is going to work its magic again. Okay, a third of 27 people, as we talked about a moment ago, it's going to be 6-7 people. Okay, so out of those 27 people, you're going to have 6 or 7 that are going to do something special. You know, one of them may build a huge business, the other one may build a medium size, but you got to realize out of those 27 people, you're still going to have other businesses at different sizes, and they may be a little bit slower in their work, but they're getting there. The point is that you're going to develop a business that's going to be huge. Now you focus on what? Since you sponsor those 90 people and you've got this huge business, and all these businesses, these 27 businesses are different phases of growth. But here's the thing. When you start working with them, what are you doing? Right here. And you say, well, 27 people is not really a lot as far as width goes and wealth. Yes, it is. Because you're maximizing the comp plan, because you talked to the company and they clarified, okay? And you're going to know what to look for, okay? You're going to know what to look for in that comp plan. You're going to know exactly, and we talked about that a moment ago, and I'm closing out. Here's the thing. You're going to, as you go up that comp plan and you're going towards the top 10 earners, it's going to become very clear to you in that comp plan what you need to do to finish it off. You're going to know, I need a sponsor exit, or I need more leaders in depth, or I need more leaders front line, or I need to maximize this bonus, I need to do this much volume, group volume, okay? So it's going to become very clear as you go up this ladder what it is that's left to be done in order for you to maximize the comp plan. So, but you put yourself in a position to create wealth. And as you're doing that and working with your leaders, and you're developing security at the same time, and the beauty of it is you're doing it through what? Through something you told them you were going to do from the very beginning. And that is what? I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to guide you. Don't ever feel alone. I'm going to help you make this thing work. Okay? Don't ever be afraid to raise your hand. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions. We all have questions, and I'm here for you, and I will do everything I can to support you. You know what? Now, just those simple words, you work in depth, because they're going to walk away as they build their own business, knowing that they can contact you. And when they do, you better be ready to answer, and you better be there to help them. Okay? And the bottom line is, when you do, you're doing what? You're developing the depth. And when you develop the depth, you're increasing the security of your business. And that puts you in a position where you can be on the beach for many years drinking out of those coconuts. That's a lot of coconuts to drink out of. So because you're doing one, the width, you're automatically starting to develop the depth. And then when you work the depth, you're doing what? You're developing the security. If that makes sense, please give me a thumbs up. If you think it was a great episode, please give us a thumbs up. We love you guys. Thank you so much. I didn't mean to go on this long. I'm sorry that it's taken that long. I don't like doing that. I really wish I could make these things shorter. But as you can tell, I go in enough detail that you guys can take this information immediately and start using it. If you're in the business right now and you're struggling, or maybe you're wanting to cap off your business, I'm teaching you things that will help you get in a position to where you can make something magical happen, where you can make 2020 your best year ever. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Don't forget, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be back with another important business building subject. We're coming to a close on these subjects, and we're going to be going into a different phase of our show. But the bottom line is we got to get the basics out of the way first. If you are not familiar with all the other things we've talked about, please go to our YouTube channel, watch the videos there. The great thing is, as I always do, I love YouTube. I do it as a tutorial. I learn a lot of things while I'm out working or something. I'll put my Bluetooth piece in, and I will be working and listening at the same time. And if I'm in a position to take notes, I take notes. YouTube is a great tutorial, a great learning tool. It's phenomenal what you can learn there. So the point is, I have all these videos that I've been doing in these podcasts there. They're in sequential order, and you guys can learn so much. And all of it is stuff that you can use immediately to make a huge difference in your business. So the thing is, if you go there, please leave comments. Even if you just say, hey, Rob, this is a great video, or just say, hey, Rob, this video sucks. Hey, Rob, you forgot to mention this. Or, hey, Rob, you talked too much on this point. You need to emphasize another point. Whatever the case may be, give us a comment. Once again, we're here for you, but we have to learn whether we're helping you or not. I think I am, but you know what? The world doesn't revolve about what I think. So I want to make sure that I'm open to listening to you guys so that I can make sure I'm bringing to the table what I think I'm bringing. Okay. And follow us. So, and you remember, hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified when we upload new content. Additionally, please follow us, subscribe to our channel, and go to our Twitter, all of that, share with everybody. Please help us reach more and more people each and every day. We are doing that. Once again, I'm blown away by the numbers. I really did not expect that, especially this early. I'm here for the long haul, and I'm going to be here for you guys, and I'm going to continue to teach you things about this business. And as I said, in the future, we're going to be having special appearances by people, and we're going to start having some fun and some banter, and hopefully not get too far off subject when that happens. But we're going to start to have fun as this show continues to mature. Once again, just bear with me as we go through the basics, because once this stuff's out there, you guys will have access to it all the time. If you're serious about this business, I don't know of any other place that you can go outside of our YouTube channel and our blog where you can learn the absolute essential steps that are necessary to make this business go. And once again, increasing your chances, legitimately increasing your chances for doing something special in this business model. And that's what we're here for. God bless everybody. Take care. Watch out for the virus. Please take care of you guys with this virus. That's the most important thing. It's more important than anything we've been talking about. I want each and every one of you to be safe. Take the necessary steps to keep yourself safe, you and your family. May God bless all of you, protect all of you, and let's all pray for those that are being stricken with this terrible virus. I never thought any of us would be in this situation, and it breaks my heart that humankind is facing this dilemma. But, you know, we got to reach out with positive and hug everybody and say to our fellow human being, we care about you, we love you, we wish you the best. And that's what we're doing here. We're being real about what's going on, right? So take care, guys. God bless you. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., please spread the word. Take care. Love you guys.